I grew up in Highland Park. My childhood it's a blur. At the age of around 4 or 5, I was molested by a very close family member. I remember just growing up in church my whole life, going to church 4 times a week, and just being very involved in church. My parents were very involved. At the age of 8, I remember my parents getting a divorce, I didn't understand what it meant. I just knew that mom and dad were not living in the same house anymore. I remember going to bed crying every night at the age of 8 and just praying and asking God. Remembering at Sunday school how they would teach us how we serve a big God and how there was nothing impossible for God. But I remember saying, well, if you're so big, why is mom and dad not together anymore? I remember seeing the abuse at home, how my dad used to beat my mom, she would go to sleep crying and just afraid of him. When I went to junior high, I remember both of my parents remarried, and I felt like that was a point in my life where I just grew angry. I grew angry at both of my parents. I was upset. I didn't understand why they were not together. When I went into high school, I started hanging out with the wrong crowd. I remember just being the party girl, being just out and just not caring about school, not caring about anything else, but just having fun with friends. I remember my mom at that time, she was a single mom, and she worked 3 jobs just to give us what we needed, my sister and I. It was really hard for her, and I didn't understand that at the time. I remember just making it in high school, just enough to graduate. I remember my mom pushing me and saying, like, you have to graduate, this is all you have to do, just go to school. At the age of 18, I remember leaving the house and just telling my mom I needed to live alone just to be more independent. But in reality, I just wanted freedom. I didn't want nobody to tell me at what time to come home, when to leave, when to go to sleep, what to do. I just wanted freedom. At the age of 20, I got pregnant with my daughter. I remember just, falling in love with her dad and just thinking, this is the guy, he was Christian. We both grew up in a Christian home. I've known him my whole life, and I thought this was it. I'm finally going to have that family I always longed for. When I got pregnant at 20 and I told him, he basically said he wanted nothing to do with the baby. He actually said he wanted me to have an abortion. I remember going through my pregnancy alone and not understanding why I was doing this alone. The person I loved, the person I thought loved me back, we were about to have a baby together, and he just left me and decided that didn't want anything to do with it. And I remember just going through my pregnancy alone. It was really, really tough. When my daughter was about 3 years old, he had a really bad accident. He fell off a power pole. He fell 45 feet down and shattered his lower back. He became paralyzed, and I remember at that point in the hospital, I was there with him, and him saying that he wants to get married and just be a family. And I decided to do that, to let go of everything I had and just be that family that I've always wanted. I remember by the time he got out of the hospital, I had already had an apartment, had it furnished for us and everything. And when he came from the hospital, he was very, very suicidal. I remember he tried to commit suicide a couple times. I couldn't sleep. I was there for him. We got married and we moved to a house, and I remember thinking, like, this is it, like, I finally have my husband, I finally have my daughter, I finally have that family I've always wanted. I caught him cheating on me, I caught him being unfaithful to me, and I remember getting his medication and trying to commit suicide myself. Let's just start all over, let's just be a family, let's just go to counseling, let's do something. And I remember him looking in my face and said, Jamie, this is who I am. This is who I am. I love women. I love being with different women. You could stay and be my roommate, or you could just leave, but I'm not going to change. This is who I am. Every night for 3 months, I cried every night and just asking God to restore my marriage. one night he got very abusive, and one day I called my mom and I told her how I was feeling. You could stay there, she said. Stay there and just don't tell me anything because it really hurts me what you're going through. Or you could just open your own business, open the salon that you've always wanted to open. She said, I will give you all of my life savings. You don't even have to get a loan. I will give you everything I have. You know, if it's because of money doesn't mean anything to me. Have it and just get out of there. We went walking on York Boulevard. I remember seeing a lot of locations for lease, and I remember my mom said, look, there's so many places here, why don't you try calling one of them? I remember seeing that place and just feeling like maybe I should call this place. So I remember calling that place the next day, and an older lady owns that building, said there's 10 applicants before you. So just give me an application if you're interested, but there's 10 people before you. A week went by, I never got a phone call by her. I found my ex-husband in a hotel with one of the many women that he had cheated on me with. I remember just saying, God, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't do this anymore. I love this man so much. The only way I will leave this man if you come down from heaven and you yourself tell me to leave him. I remember I got a phone call. I still remember it was 9:48 a.m. Hi, honey, it's Connie. I said, hi. And she said, you know what? When I first met you, there was something about you. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the salon. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the first month free. When she said that, I was in shock. Like I knew it was God. I knew God had heard my cries. God had heard my prayers. God honored me with the salon. He gave me that salon I wanted. And that's why I decided to name it Hadassah. Hadassah is in the book of Esther. It says that Esther was also called Hadassah. I feel like I could relate to her. I feel like, you know, the Bible says that she left everything she ever had, everything she ever knew, her comfort, her family, her friends, her neighbors, to go to the castle, to the king, to be prepared to be seen by the king, you know. I feel like I left everything I ever had. Everything I ever had. My ex-husband, his family became my family. His friends were my friends, you know. I left all of that comfort to start something new, to start what God had for me, which is the salon. Even though I got the salon, I was blessed with the salon, I still felt hurt. I felt hurt. I was bitter. I grew bitter. I grew hurt. I grew angry. And I decided to do what he did to me. I decided to hurt back. I wanted to feel what he felt when he hurt me. So I started dating a lot, and I started becoming very promiscuous and just dating and just hurting back and just wanting to have that feeling. I felt like that would have made me happy, but it really didn't. I remember seeing one day on my Facebook an ad of a church. I went to church that Sunday and I said, God, if this is of you, this is the church I should be in, you know, speak to me. We went to service, and I remember a pastor that day, he spoke of Luke chapter 7, of a widow woman that all she had was a son. She had nothing else but a son, and her son died. And the Bible says that Jesus was passing with his disciples, and that his heart hurt because he saw how the woman was crying over her son. The only thing she had, her son. She was crying, and he says that Jesus got close to the woman, and the woman said, "Woman, why are you crying?" And then she said that her only son had died. And so then the story says that God went and he brought his son back from death. Well, I felt that day, you know, I felt like God spoke to me there. Like, I was that woman when I was in my marriage. I was that woman where I had lost everything. I had nothing. I was hopeless. I know there's so many people out there broken, so many people out there that feel like they're lost, that they're bitter, that they have nothing, that they've come from a broken home, that they've come from an abusive relationship, a cheating relationship, that've been molested, and that just feel lost, you know. But I wanted people to know that there's hope when we believe that, you know, God is big, and even though he's silent at times, you know, he's there and he's listening to us and he's hearing us, and he is just ready to bless us in every way possible. We just have to keep pushing and not give up, keep pushing, because he has something better for us. He has blessings for us. He has big things for our lives. We just have to believe and have faith that everything's gonna work out for the best. And now I'm so blessed with this business. I'm blessed with the salon, that since I've I've been here for 4 years already, and I mean, the salon has paid for itself since the first 2 months that I got the salon. You know, God has blessed me big with clients, with people just coming. He has blessed me with an amazing daughter who I love, who she loves God. Her heart to serve, her heart for God is just so big, and God has just shown me how He could turn something so ugly to something so beautiful.